Okay, so, whoo, yeah, I got some interesting energy coming up in this. I think you guys definitely are attracted to this person, but this person is also really hard to trust. Yeah, because it's almost like you don't trust this person. It's not like you don't trust this person. I feel like you guys definitely want to. I think there's something here that makes you feel like you can't. If not the person, then it's really like yourself that you don't know if you can trust. Look at that. So the Ace of Cups, Six of Wands. That's beautiful. That is really nice. That is success in my eyes, and then the Ace of Cups is just new love. And taking a leap of faith can be one exciting thing. It doesn't have to be a scary leap of faith thing, but you're starting from scratch with this relationship. You're starting over all over again, but there is some blockage here with the Eight of Swords. This could be a very exciting transition in your life, a really exciting move, change, but there is some sort of, there's either some doubt or whatever. But the Fool comes up with the Ace of Cups to me as a new beginning in love. This is literally a new start, a new fresh beginning. Like you're taking a whole new step. I feel like this is a brand new person, not necessarily someone from the past, but this is definitely someone that is brand new and fresh. This is why I don't think it has anything to do with the relationship. I kind of feel like the reason why there is a little bit of like not really sure of what to do, feeling stuck, it has to do with how you've been treated in relationships in the past, how things have gone in the past. Or maybe there's similar stuff that's coming up with this, but there's no Wheel of Fortune energy in here at all. So there's no Blast of the Past energy here. So I kind of just get this vibe that this is just like a brand new start for you. This is about opening up, being emotionally vulnerable, going after what you want and what you desire, making sure that your needs are taken care of at all times. So you have the Eight of Wands is coming up in your past energy, so things are moving very quickly. I feel like you guys were connecting with this person very fast. This person really made a really big impression. You guys really hit it off, and you guys really started to connect and communicate a lot of, all the time. So the Eight of Swords is almost like this stopped. That stopped. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. You don't know what you're, what's going on really, because the Eight of Swords is like this person's blindfolded and they've got swords surrounding them. Typically in the Eight of Swords, the Rider-Waite has a pathway. So there's a lot of stuff going on in your mind. And I feel like it's just because of there's feelings accumulating. There's feelings that are being generated. Right? Before things were just kicking off, things were fun, things were quick, but there were some feelings caught. It always looks like that, right? It always happens that way. But this person's a player. Or this person, or, you're enjoying your freedom. You're enjoying, being, attached to nothing. Just purely going off of what your heart wants and what your heart desires in the moment. And that can be completely understandable, especially if you just got out of a difficult relationship with somebody. You know what I'm saying? So the Eight of Swords is like, and it's weird because I feel like it's either you don't know what to do, you feel trapped because of the Knight of Wands. Either you're compelled to go out, to have to go after this person, or you feel really drawn to this individual, but they're not very mature in how they communicate. This person may have offered you some love, some sort of emotional feeling, or something. They may have communicated to you about how they felt about something, but you didn't really, you're not quite sure what to take with that. You're not sure what to do with it. Either because your emotions are blossoming still and they need more nurturing and more time, or it's just too soon for you guys. Maybe it's just too soon for you, Pisces. But the situation is that everything's moving really quickly, and it's kind of making you feel like you don't really have a lot of choices. Like you want to go for it, but you're not sure if you should. Or perhaps you just feel like, you feel more compelled to go with it versus, taking a moment and taking a step back. But you come to some realization in the future. Like this process here where you don't feel like you know what to do, either because you don't really know if you want to commit yet, you want to continue to explore yourself and enjoy the time, or do you want to see where this relationship goes? You come to some sort of conclusion, you come to an answer, and it's your truth. It's the truth that you have to live with, right? It brings about clarity in your situation for yourself. So I feel like there's some things that you may not quite understand about yourself right now, but you will definitely understand it because what your heart says is going to be more profound than what you think is the right choice or right decision. I don't know if you guys are trying to do things based off of what's right or what's wrong, but I kind of feel like for a lot of you guys, you're just torn between, you're trying to figure out, or you're just feeling stuck because everything doesn't necessarily have any sort of guarantee. So why do we have the Eight of Swords and the Knight of Wands coming out? What is that? Knight of Wands. Not giving up. Tired. Exhausted. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, like, I feel like for the Knight of Wands, this could indicate too that you may not be ready to give up on something, but this isn't giving you anything back either. Like the situation, like you're trying to hold it down, you're doing the best that you can, but the Knight of Wands isn't taking it seriously enough. So you kind of feel like you're stuck because you do have love, but you're no longer really interested in putting your effort into something that someone else isn't going to treat with respect. You know? The Ace of Swords to me looks like this is coming to some sort of clarity. Some sort of truth comes out. What is this? With the Ace of Swords, what is that? Why is the Eight of Swords? The Emperor. Taking control. Being stubborn, not compromising. Because the Five of Swords is what it's literally asking you to do. Like, if like the best path to follow, the advice here with the Five of Swords, that's someone that ends up choosing something over someone else, usually. As a truth that that can't be beaten no matter what the argument is. This is someone that's relentless in their efforts to get what they want, as well as negotiations, ultimatums, all these other things that come up with the Five of Swords. I feel like it's taking not necessarily the high road, but for figuring out what your focus is and just focusing on that. If it's not what you want, then you have every right to say, fuck it, I'm not doing it. Because I feel like for some of you guys, you may be wanting to have a relationship with someone that's not mature enough, that doesn't respect you, or doesn't respect that sort of connection that you're feeling or your emotions. Do you really want to bother with this individual? Is this something you want to compromise with and see, take a chance with? But I feel like you hope this person matures, but if they're not mature now, what makes you think they're going to mature anytime soon when they're with you? I'm not saying that you're not worth being matured for, but I'm saying is that this, you can't, like, it's important to know that people will never change for someone else. They'll always change for themselves. Just like how you will only change based off of what you believe is right for you. So I kind of get this vibe that the situation cannot be manipulated. It can't be forced. It can't be changed. If this is someone that's been acting weird and you don't really particularly know how to handle that, or you don't really like it, but you really want to be with this person, you have to figure out what is your limits, what are your boundaries, what is your, what are you willing to take and what are you not willing to take? Because the Five of Swords is saying, okay, let's take account for what we got here. What are we getting out of this? What are we getting out of anything? What are we getting out of this relationship mostly? Why is the Page of Cups coming up in the external energy? Damn, it's the truth. Some sort of brutal truth, man. But something about how you feel. So I think it's going to be sweet, but it's going to be absolutely raw. It's going to be blunt. It's going to be no jokes, no nothing about it. No games. But I don't know if this person understands the magnitude of what they're saying, because the Page of Swords is usually someone that is a child, right? It's holding a really gigantic ass sword, as you can see, as a kid. And she doesn't know how to use it. So obviously, if she's not using it carefully, she could really hurt herself or other people. And I kind of feel like with whatever information that she's got right now to express, he or she, whatever, it has something to do with their feelings, and it's premature. either it's premature or they don't understand what they're saying. Something's going on where there's going to be some sort of, like, this is what's bringing out the I don't know what to do. And it's like, figure out what you want. What do you want? Go for only what you want. Don't compromise. Or it is saying to compromise. There's so many ways to look at this. If you really love this person, you can't have everything, right? This person has to be who they are. You have to love them unconditionally. But if there's conditions to this love, should this love be, should you continue? If this person cannot make you happy with just them being the way that they are, is this a pathway in which you should go for? Probably not, right? Because you're going to want them to change. You want them mature. You want them to be the King of Wands when they're not. So it's like, what is the right path? Somebody may have communicated their heart to you, or you communicated your heart to them, but you're also aware that they're not the person that you need them to be because you're picking up a lot of slack. You're doing a lot of things that make you exhausted in the relationship and really ready to kind of just throw in the towel because you're not getting anything out of it. So why is the King of Wands coming up in the hopes and fears? King of Wands is coming up because of the Page of Cups again. I feel like you want somebody to communicate with you, or you to communicate with them about how you feel about them. Why is the Page of Cups coming up for the King of Wands? Well, because of the Fool. Page of Cups, the Fool. I feel like some of you guys may be hoping for this person to want to start with you too. Like, become something more than just a fling or or friends with benefits, or you want to connect with someone on a deeper level. Page of Cups, that's nurturing. You got it twice in this reading. So for some of you guys, it may have a lot to do with the fact that you want to start something with this person. You want to be, vulnerable and take the leap of faith together and jump into this relationship together. Why is the Six of Coins coming up in the outcome? Six of Coins usually means that there's some sort of give and take. You actually start having a balanced relationship, not where you're overextending or doing too much and the other person is doing too little for you to even, recognize that they're doing anything for you. It's a real balance, a real attempt to balance things. So I feel like the situation, it can definitely work out, but I feel like it has to come from figuring out what it is that you're willing to work with, what you're not willing to work with. What do you want? What are you getting out of this? And only focus on that. If you're getting happiness out of this and this person isn't perfect, can you live with this person, accepting them for who they are and all of who they are, and still make the relationship work? I'm not saying this person shouldn't clean the kitchen sometimes, or help out around the house, or talk to you and without you initiating first. But if this person isn't doing that and you need them to do it, is this a relationship for you to continue to want to go for? It's a hard one, family, definitely. Let's see what we need to release or surrender with Power Surrender cards. You have surrender your desire to control people. And it says, being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. So like I was saying before, if this person is not being who you need them to be, is this a relationship in which you should force it in that direction? Or maybe you should just find something that actually fits with the criteria that you need. This person is perfect the way they are, as you are too. But I don't know if you would feel just as good for, if someone required you to change for them. That doesn't really say that you accept them. And I think this is, the same situation. You are having a hard time right now dealing with this individual that's, they've got their own quirks and their own things. You love them dearly, but they're not everything that you want. But they still make you happy. This is still a new beginning. It can still work out. It's just about learning to work with the differences to be able to work with each other. But never settle for less than what you want. It's interesting, Pisces. Really big. Oh, wow. Soulmates. So this is someone that you're destined to meet, or you're fated to meet. Soulmates usually indicate too that this is someone that's going to help you in great transformations in your life. Great standpoints in your life. There's a really big lesson to this. This person also is going to help you improve your love for yourself in some way. So there's definitely a connection here. That's why I feel like there's love. There's love. But there's also not quite, you're not quite sure what to do. Because this person is not giving, this person is not doing enough. And you're exhausted with putting in so much effort and tired of kind of being the initiator that it's going to be kind of hard for you to even want to decide, to move in with this guy or move in with this girl or do anything new with this person or whatever. But you want to be in a relationship with this individual. It's just like they're not perfect. But their imperfections are beautiful. And you love their imperfections. You love every bit of them. It's just hard to figure out what you're going to do. And I say go for what you want. If you want them, you have to love them for all of the pieces that you may or may not agree with. If you can't, if it's just too big of an elephant in the room, is it something that you should continue to address, to deal with? And I don't think going into the relationship to hopefully change the person is a good idea. Because you can never change anybody.